Hello, ladies. Friday, and I'm so excited. It's September already. This happened so quickly. I'm so excited to get a chance to connect with all of you. This is going to take a few seconds for you to start receiving it, and for me to be really live. But I am so grateful to get a chance to be here with you today. I have an amazing weekend last weekend, having many of my about half of my 1 year clients here at my house for an event. We went through 3 days of intense transformation and healing and opening up and figuring out what's next and what's right and what needs to change. It was so powerful. So, hey, Kayla, big hug to you, beautiful lady, and Kate as well. So here's the thing. I want to start with a small subject, and then I'll hit right on into Q&A for all of you. The subject today is what giving up on love means. For the most part, my way of looking at this, giving up on love is giving up on yourself. And here's why. I mean, if you consciously choose, I don't want a partner, that's one thing. But if you give up on love, if you say, I can't have it, and that's why I'm not having it, not because I don't want to, but because I can't, then you're giving up on yourself. Imagine, for example, you're 45 years of age. And let's say right now, based on statistics, you're a woman, you might live to be 90. So that's half of your life that you're saying no to hugs, no to love, no to intimacy, no to kisses, no to hand holding, not to spooning, not to traveling the world with someone who knows you, not to going as deep as you possibly can sexually. So there's a lot that you're saying no to. So it's not saying no to love. You're saying no to your pleasure and your fulfillment and your growth. So if you're about to say no to love and say, it's not in the cards for me, just triple think it, because it's a lot more things that you're saying no to than you recognize in the moment. So that's all my little message for right now. With that said, I'm going to head straight on into Q&A. Before I do that, I'll say two things. Number one, if you enjoy this kind of stuff, if you feel this is powerful for you, you're going to find a couple of links on the description of this video. The first one allows you to go way deeper and take a masterclass that I created for you. Go to that page, enter your name and email, and you'll be immediately redirected to that free training that will take the concepts that you're learning right now to the next level. Second one, if you are saying, I want to work with you, second link will allow you to apply to work with me and figure out if we're a match to work together. So I'm going to get started right now. Kate, thank you for being here. Tiffany, Tanya White, Saina B., Vicky, Novell, Kayla Young, Juceline Palmeira, big hug to you, beautiful lady. Leslie Phillips, Zena89, Flower Child, Ira Micheli, Maggie GL from Egypt, Hazel Radin, Lulu M. I'm excited. So here's what I'll say to you. If you have a question right now, a pressing, burning question or something that you want my help on, I'm here to help. So post a specific question on the chat box, and I'll be happy to answer as many as I can in this limited time frame. Okay, so I'm waiting for the first question, and I'll hit it off. Rita Alexandria, thank you. Excited to be here. Okay, so I'll hit the first one. How to not lose hope on love? Well, I think the way not to lose hope on love is to do what you have to do to feel self-love, but also be willing to look at the consequences of losing hope on love straight in the eye. I think that some human beings, when they look at, well, if I lose hope on love, then I just won't. You're thinking about the difficulty of experiencing love, and that's typically where you say, well, I'm just going to give up. It's too hard. The price to pay is too high. But typically don't look face to face to the reality of, if they don't get what they want, what's the real pain? As I was sharing at the beginning of this video, what will you lose out on? What will you miss out on? How many ungiven kisses? How many ungiven hugs and passionate nights and deep arguments and conversations and sunsets will you miss out on? And when you look at that, when you look at the price that you're to pay, and two, when you find out that the creating love is it's a combination of art and science. It's not just like something that's given to you by nature of being alive. You have the feeling of love, which is natural, God-given, if you want to call it that. But the skill of love requires time and energy and learning. So you can learn how to do things better. You can learn how to set boundaries. You can learn how to speak your truth. You can learn how to have more emotional fortitude. And when you do the things that you need to do, then lo and behold, love knocks on your door and it chases you instead of you chasing it. So that's my best short answer on this life question. I'm going to go back down and look at what else. So love of velvet. Hello, lots of love to you. Okay, so sexualize my sexual life has a question. What can I do to attract a stronger guy? I keep attracting guys who have social anxiety and are not confident. Sandra, okay, so beautiful. Thank you so much. I've never known your name. Now I do, Sandra. And guess what, Sandra? For you specifically, I have panels in my studio. There's no more echo in here. It was not cheap and it was not easy, but damn it, we got it. So that's that. But okay, so Sandra, here's what I would say to you right now. And I know this based on comments that you've shared with me. The way you get to experience a connection with a stronger guy is to be willing to relax more into your feminine. When you relax more into your feminine, the counterpart to that will be attracted to you. When your energy that you're putting out there is more masculine or neutral, you're not going to get the right polarity. Does that make sense? So my best bet would be to, regardless of whether you want to be sexual or not, the connection to your essence, the connection to what you believe to be true inside yourself, the connection to what you feel, and the open expression of who you really are will attract the right resonance. So that's part of it. The other part is figure out why you're choosing to spend time. It's like, it's not just who you attract. Attracting an unavailable man, for example, is not a problem. Being attracted back to an unavailable man is a problem. Being attracted back to guys who don't have the strength and the cojones that you're searching for, metaphorically speaking, is a problem. So my thing would be, take longer to get to connect with them. And if you're sensing, well, all the guys who connect with me are weaker than me, then it's not about being weaker. It's just softening into your heart to where the guy who is more masculine can actually feel that attraction, that polarity, that magnetism towards you. And I have plenty of subjects on the videos on the subject of feminine, masculine energy. And there's plenty of more human beings who share something like that. But that would be my first bet. I would connect to the openness of heart that allows that polarity to take place. Hope this makes sense, Sandra. So thank you for sharing your name. And also thank you for always being supportive. I really appreciate you on the videos and the comments. And you're a beautiful human being. I really appreciate you in my orbit. Maggie. Okay, so Kayla Young, is it too soon to get engaged after 1 year? I don't think it's too soon. I think if you really know the guy and you've gotten a chance to spend time with him for 1 year and go through good times and bad and connect with his family and connect with his friends, a year sounds just about right to get engaged. I think it's not, but it all depends on if it's a year long distance, then fuck yeah, it's too soon, right? Because you don't know him. You're projecting more than reality. So if you've spent time with him, if you've connected with him, if you really know who he is, then it might be the perfect timing to get engaged. Maggie, GL, I want to lose hope in love because he hurt me. Well, I understand the feeling and I sympathize with your I'm hurt. But my question to you is, do you want to be hurt for the rest of your life? Or do you want to open up to A, risking again, but B, being able to gain something more? It's like saying, well, I got fired from a job, so I'm not going to go into another job ever again. Well, if you want to make money and if you want to contribute to society, you either start a business or go work for someone. So you wouldn't say, well, I had a bad experience at this office, so I'm never going to go to any other office. You wouldn't do that in any other area of your life, probably. So why do it in love? I say, learn what you need to learn, get some help to heal, learn more about how you can make better decisions in the future, and then don't hurt yourself endlessly. Hurt yourself just for a little bit and know that things can be different. There's a price to pay for things to be different. You have to do things differently. You have to be willing to put in the work and be willing to do some healing, but if you want it, it's there for you. It's a decision. It's a personal decision. Somebody else. Nouvelle V, how do you walk away with dignity to someone who you're still in love with when you know he's toxic for you? You walk away with dignity by making a decision that as much as you love him, you need to love yourself more. You can only extend some love as a somewhat of a reflection of how much love you feel in your life, and it's in your heart. And if you're doing some unkind things to yourself, then you're not necessarily showing him love. You're showing him attachment. You're showing him neediness. You're showing him addiction. So just make sure that you tell yourself the truth. It's not just love while you're with him. Your love, part of it is love. Part of it is feeling the void. Part is feeling maybe is slightly addicted to him. Part of it is like a failure to find intensity in your life and meeting it through some darkness that he brings. So when you tell yourself the truth, it's not just love. Sometimes it's addiction and love, or addiction and attachment and love. Then you can see it with more perspective and not just feel like, well, I'm being so benevolent by staying with him. No, you're enabling some behaviors that are not good for you. My best advice for you right now, if you really feel like I'm doing the best effort to get away from him and I can't, get some fucking help. Don't do this on your own. It's like somebody saying, I'm an alcoholic and I can't stop drinking. Well, go to support group. Figure out who can help you. Get some coaching. And this is not easy to break free from, but it's doable. If you find that what you're doing right now isn't working, do something else. And typically for this specific type of problem, I highly recommend that you get some help and some support. Next one. Hisel Radin, as a man, what or how do you express that you still love someone? You express it in multiple ways. You express it through your eyes. You express it through your mouth, your words, your actions. You express it through, typically you'll express it in two major ways. One is what you say and your intentions, and B is what you do and your actions. And I think that actions are more important than words in many ways. Why? Because not that words are not important, but if the guy is like all roomy poetry towards you, but not taking action. It's like, I really want to pursue you, but he's not pursuing you. I really want to take things forward. He's not introducing you to his friends. I really want to marry you someday. And he's like afraid of commitment at the most basic level. Then, well, that's he's not showing you that he loves you. If he's taking action, planning the future and taking things forward, making you part of his world, then he's showing you in the way that counts, which is with actions. So I'd say that's probably the strongest way he can show you that he loves you, with actions, and then words and time spent together. Tanya White, how can I get over some childhood issues that keep me from sustaining a relationship? I can attract a man, but I can't keep him. For you, Tanya, there's multiple experts on the subject matter and multiple videos, but it's like saying, I want to learn Japanese and I'm going to buy a book to learn Japanese. Well, unlikely that I'll really speak Japanese from a book. It's doable. Some people do it, but most people don't. It sounds funky and clunky and like nobody understands you. Like, I go immerse yourself in Japan and get a tutor for Japanese, and then you'll be speaking the language. And it's still hard, but it's doable. So I'm going to say for you right now, get some help. Coaching really works for that type of stuff. Some forms of therapy work. Some of them are too focused on the past, and I think can be a waste of your fucking time. Honestly, that's my experience would be that some forms of therapy are helpful, but many are not. Coaching is more focused on the future, so that's probably more helpful for you. Get some help. And again, my theme right now, it might seem like I'm saying that a lot, but I'm saying it not because I offer help. I only have 40 spots a year for women who want to be there. So I only have certain number of spots, but there's plenty of people who help human beings on this. I still have a few spots open, but I would say have someone who's discovered fire 20 times over show you how to light on your fire versus you figuring out, well, how to do it from scratch. Mi amor, how did you realize that your wife was the one? I guess through time. I realized because it's a human being that I connected with, that I felt more resonance with, that I felt the strongest level of friendship with. So it's a combination of friendship and chemistry. It took several years to get to know each other because we were best friends for many years. And then finally one day, she accepted being in my life that way. For many years, she didn't want to. And then I moved to the States. And finally, when the opportunity arose and I broke up with someone that I was with for 3 years, and we made it happen. So I realized this because I was with this, I created a strong friendship. And through this strong friendship, I gave myself permission to learn more and go deeper. And then it resulted in an organic way, which is my recommendation for anyone who wants to find if someone's the one. Like, first of all, there's many the ones. It's not just one the one. It's the one you choose. But you choose one person who is mostly compatible. In some ways, not, because that's a human being, right? In some ways, you'll want to pull your hair out. I don't have any, but if I did, I would. And she would as well. But where it really counts, values, that's where we're compatible. Values and communication style and what we want out of life, what we envision as an amazing lifestyle is compatible. So I recommend that you don't subscribe to the idea that there's only one soulmate. There's multiple soulmates. You'll activate one if you're lucky, right? And if you're courageous, you'll activate one and you'll make it work. That's what I would say. Next one. How do I handle a jealous partner? Well, it depends. It depends on what you mean by jealous. It depends on his level of jealousy, right? It's one of those things where the person has to be willing to do some work. Like you have to set some strong boundaries. If your partner is jealous of things that are reasonable, right, then you might need to change your behavior. If he's jealous of things that are unreasonable, then you need to hold a higher standard and not enable that behavior, but also share with him that he can work on this. You can reassure him all you want, but it's up to a certain point. He's going to have to figure out how to get free from this. And that might mean him getting some help, him working through his fears and insecurities, him getting stronger, him valuing himself more, him knowing that he's someone who is worth something in your life, and who, if worse comes to worse, can find a new partner. Once you feel that way, it's not that you're excited about the possibility of your partner cheating, but you know that you're bringing something valuable to the table. So he might need to do some work on himself in addition to anything you can share with him. And typically the source of that, unless you're doing something blatant, to activate that jealousy, which sometimes happens. Sometimes women do this type of trick on guys and they feel very loved when the guy gets jealous. And it's like kind of cute, but it's like in a messed up way. But if that's not you, if he's just jealous of things that he shouldn't be jealous of, then he needs to work on himself. And you need to have a conversation with him where you're saying, dude, like, I really want to be with you. And this thing could destroy the relationship. So can you please help me by doing something about it? It's not an easy subject to handle because sometimes it stems from earlier situations in life. But yeah, that's the within this limited time frame. Without going deep one-on-one with you, that's the best generic advice I can share with you. You're going to have to do some work and set some boundaries. He's going to have to do some work and figure out why he's feeling insecure and find out how he can break from his insecurities more consistently. Okay? And that might mean, as I said, him getting some help. Next person. Let me see who else I have here. Afsha, so happy to see you live as well. Actions is approved, not words. Michelle. Okay. Let me see what I have here. Let me see what I have here. Who else? I've been in love and I'm 40. I can't relate. Never had a broken heart. I know I am too close stuff. I'm not sure what the question will be there. If you do have a question, I'll come back to it. Okay. So let me see. I'm watching is the name of, well, the username. I'm in a 2-year relationship and he's still into his ex-wife he divorced 20 years ago. Is this an innocent memory or am I in trouble as he sends regular messages to her about he likes and remembers her? Yeah, I think you're in trouble. I'd be honest with you. If he's 20 fucking years ago divorced her and he's still reminiscing and saying, I miss you, that's incredibly disrespectful to you, regardless of how he feels. So you need to have a conversation, like say, dude, like I get that's how you feel. It's unacceptable. So either get back to her or be with me, but stop fucking around energetically. That's, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily say it with those words, but that's the essence behind the message. Like it happens because you feel it's cool and you allow it, but it's not normal and it's not healthy for him to be reaching out in that mode to an ex-partner of 20 years ago. And it's not respectful to you. And it's not something that's going to better the relationship in any way. So put a stop to it and move forward. If he really feels like he needs to get back or something, then let him do that. But don't do that in between thing because it doesn't work. Lunge, Marie's wisdom. I was in several domestic violence shelters and many therapists and praying and get help to that unhealthy relationship, which was part of, I have to get myself together and quit blaming him. Yeah, I commend you for your courage. I'm sorry you've gone through this trouble, and I'm hoping for the best for you, my dear. Jealousy is normal, emotional. It becomes unhealthy, toxic. Now you got a problem. Okay, let me see who else I have. So big blessings to you, and hope you continue getting stronger and stronger with time. Do you think, okay, Somaya's F82, do you think multicultural people are more successful with other multicultural partners? I don't feel I fully belong to any culture. Also love and blessings. I don't know necessarily if that's the case. I tend to look at human beings. I think that having some commonalities with the people that you connect with are going to make the relationship potentially more easy to navigate. It's not to say that you can't connect with someone who has a very different background. I'm just saying it's shared commonalities is part of what creates something that's sustainable. But the way I look at human beings is not necessarily through are they multicultural or not. It's like, what are their virtues and qualities and what's their heart like? So I'm much more into what is in your soul and heart than what's the color of your skin and where you were born. Does that make sense? Not to say that those things don't affect the way somebody shows up, like especially the where you were born, because you have some cultural situations take place. But I think that if there's a way to make relationships work, you just have to have strong commonalities to make sure that they can endure and respect for each other. Mr. Jonasy, I love a man. I believe he's a narcissist. 2 years now. Constant threat issues is my issue. It is my issue, isn't it? It is your issue if you're attracted to a guy who's a narcissist. I'm not sure if your definition is correct, but if it is, then for fuck's sakes, please get yourself out of that situation and get whatever help you need to get out of it, because it's not going to go anywhere. And if he truly is a narcissist, you're in for I'm going to be kind with my word choice, fuckload of help, of pain. So just do what you can right now to change that situation. It's not healthy for you to be with a narcissist. Tanya White, I hope this will be able to listen to later. Replay, please. Yeah, the replay will always show up after a live, so no worries. Okay, Cosmos Spray. Unconditional love doesn't exist. Men cheat most of the time, and women grow old and tired of men. Such a positive message here. Let me see. We love the feeling more than the person, don't you think? I think men are sexual creatures. We're not compatible. I think that for whatever reason, you've experienced a lot of pain, and I don't judge you for it. I just feel like you have a very specific view that's not helping you or serving you move forward. I think men and women are both sexual creatures, and I think both men and women can say no when they need to say no, even though it's not easy. It's hard, but it's doable. It just depends on what it is that you want. So unconditional love as an ideal, I think it's a little utopian. I think you can get closer to it depending upon how you show up in life. True unconditional love might be very difficult to come by, but it does exist. Think about father and son or mother and daughter or vice versa. Like, I think there is unconditional love out there. It's just not it's not the easiest thing to step into. Again, my feedback would be, I'm not sure how old you are, but if you're young, you're too young to be cynical. And if you're not super young, you can always change. Your current model of the world is going to ensure that you experience more and more pain. So my strong wish and hope for you is that you get a chance to see that life can be different depending upon how you show up. That's my belief, at least. Okay. So, Amber Man, have you ever coached someone that have a dream of sorts of who they were to marry, like a vision psychic experience? Yeah. I mean, I've helped women who have that, and sometimes it is the right vision. Sometimes it's the wrong vision, like sometimes. So I think it's possible to have a very clear vision of what you want and come up and find something even better than your vision. And I think sometimes if what you have something, it's also possible that the vision is the right thing for you. So if you have a strong vision that's more based on, I would say, virtues versus physicality, then that's probably a better vision for you than if you get too specific on he has to have, I don't know, he has to be 6 foot tall and have blonde hair. Like, I think focusing on the chemistry, strong chemistry is important, but also strong character. And if the vision is more connected to the character than the physicality of it, I think it's going to serve you more than if you focus on the physicality more than the actual depth of connection and character. Karina Barrera, is it okay to keep a man for sexual convenience? I don't know if you would like for a guy to keep you for sexual convenience. I guess yes. I mean, but if you don't feel that way, then the answer is fuck no, right? Why would you use someone for sexual convenience? I think it's probably going to be more hurtful than beneficial. Am I saying there's no benefits? There's short-term benefits. Long-term, it's going to create emptiness, most likely, loneliness, attachment to the wrong dude, closing off to do better opportunities in life. I think it's going to be an equation that brings a negative number at the end. That's my strong, not just belief based on something I came up with. That's been my experience in observing human behavior and helping and coaching thousands of women from around the world to do it in different ways. That's one way that's more likely to end up in heartbreak and attachment and addiction and pain. But that's just my point of view. Let me see what else. I'm going to answer 2 more questions, and then I'll have to come back and do another one in the near future. Hazel Radin, is proposing marriage online believable? I don't know if it's believable. I would absolutely not recommend it. I think it's a fucking fantasy. Like propose marriage. Like propose in person. Connect with that human being. If you're connecting with a man you've never seen, never met, or met once or twice, and he has to propose via internet, am I saying it's never worked? No, it can work, but I certainly would not advise it as a practice. One more. Okay. Bernarda Carolina D. I've been in a friends with benefit situation with a guy for too long. I want to talk with him and share with him my feelings and try it without expectations. What would you think about it? I think that you should basically, what you've determined is that you're no longer comfortable with a long-term friend with benefit situation, is you should first know that it's very likely that no matter what you do, this guy only wants that. But if you want something different, it's only going to come about through maybe his realization through some time, or you basically setting some boundaries saying, dude, like the way we're doing it doesn't help me, doesn't serve me. Are you looking for something deeper? If the answer is yes, let's go forward. If the answer is no, let's end it amicably right now and stop contact for real, so that you don't create more of the same. You have to be willing to walk away, and you have to be willing to hold a higher vision than the relationship that you have right now to be able to get more. You have to be willing to lose the intensity and the attachment and the chemistry and feeling beautiful with him in order to go for the goal, if that's what you want, which is a long-term sustainable relationship that has passion, but also has some security in it. Okay? That's all I have right now for you ladies. Thank you so much for showing up. Once again, if you want to take this concept deeper and you want to learn how to enter a conscious relationship, there's a first link on the description of this video that will have a way for you to sign up for a free masterclass. So click on the first link in the description of this video, enter your name and email, and be taken to that page right away. And if you like this, just give it some love, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. If any of you is saying, dude, I'd love some help from you, I want some hand-holding accountability, then there's a second link in the description that will allow you to apply to work with me and find out if we're fit to work together. Much love to all of you, and wishing you an incredible weekend and a conscious life.